Is there anything more satisfying than running into a room full of enemies and blasting everything in sight? No matter who you are, there's something about classic FPS games that never ceases to be entirely enjoyable. Whether it's the imaginative level designs or impossibly huge arsenal of weapons you get to lug around, many so-called boomer shooters deliver up an amazing gaming experience every single time you play them. Now, there are plenty of FPS games, but if there's one franchise that truly lends itself to the genre, it's Warhammer 40k. It was therefore pretty much inevitable that a game like Warhammer 40k Boltgun would come into being at some point. But maybe you're someone who doesn't know much about the game or possibly hasn't even heard of it. Well, not to worry, because here's everything you need to know about Warhammer 40k Boltgun. Let's get to it. Boltgun sees players assume the role of Malum Caedo, which is apparently Latin for I kill evil, who is a member of the Adeptus Astartes, otherwise known as the Space Marines. But Caedo isn't just any ordinary Space Marine. He's a Stern Guard veteran from the Ultramarines chapter, and he's been tasked by the Inquisition with ridding the Forge World of Graia of the cultists, traitors, and chaos demons that have taken up residence there. And yes, for those of you who might be wondering, this is the same Graia that was invaded by Warboss Grimskull's Warg in 2011's Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Apparently these guys just can't catch a break. Anyway, if you were hoping for a deep or complex story, then you're missing the point. This is a Warhammer 40k FPS, so the plot is understandably and necessarily simple. You're just there to kill pretty much anything you set your eyes on, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So you're probably asking what weapons you'll get to use, and yes, all your favorites will be in the game. From what it seems, weapons include, but are not necessarily limited to, the standard issue bolter, Space Marine shotgun, melter gun, grav cannon, plasma gun, and, of course, the timeless and devastating chainsword. What kind of Warhammer 40k FPS doesn't have a chainsword? As a bonus, you'll be able to rush at enemies, immediately wiping out smaller ones with your brute strength alone. Now that's music to my ears. As for the forces of chaos you'll be facing up against, well, in any 40k game, it's generally factions serving either Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, or Nurgle. In Boltgun though, you'll get a little more than you bargained for, as you'll encounter both Nurgle and Tzeentch's minions throughout the main campaign. Finally, a 40k game where Tzeentch and his demons are actually antagonists. Units that have been spotted in gameplay footage and that have been revealed so far include Nurglings, Renegade Guardsmen, Chaos Cultists, Chaos Space Marines, Blue and Pink Horrors, Lesser and Greater Plague Toads, and Flamers of Tzeentch. While I don't know for certain, I'm pretty sure Boltgun will include some boss battles, one of which should involve a Great Unclean One and another a Lord of Change. In any case, never have I been more motivated to hurl myself headlong into hordes of enemies and purge them from existence. If for some reason you're wondering about Boltgun's graphics, this is indeed a deliberate stylistic choice on the part of Auroch Digital, the game's developers. Much like relatively recent releases such as Dusk and Proteus, which I happen to love, Boltgun blends classic sprites and pixels with some low-poly 3D graphics to really capture the nostalgia and energy of the golden years of the FPS genre. The emphasis here is on intense, fast-paced combat and inflicting as much pain and suffering on your adversaries as possible. In the Warhammer 40k universe, things are about as dark and brutal as it gets, so if you aren't armed to the teeth and sporting the finest power armor the Emperor can buy, your chances of survival are basically zero. Unless you're an Ogryn, of course. But despite the franchise's dark and generally self-serious tone, Boltgun definitely errs on the campy fun side of things, which actually charges the game with a dose of high-octane energy that should have players totally pumped to pummel the bad guys into piles of mulchy, gloopy guts. To get you even more in the mood to kill, my assumption is that Boltgun will also come with a thumping soundtrack that consists of instrumental thrash and death metal songs. Personally, it would be great if they had a couple of bolt thrower tracks in there for good measure, but maybe I'm just asking too much. Also, if you're expecting the ability to co-op the game or play multiplayer, then think again, because Boltgun is all about that classic single-player experience. I'm not saying that multiplayer won't be available post-release, but right now I wouldn't hold my breath since the devs haven't indicated that they will be looking to incorporate this into the game, at least not yet. At any rate, Boltgun should have plenty of terrain and areas for players to explore. Some environments appear distinctly industrial and mechanized, while others are wide open outdoor areas reminiscent of levels from Doom. The world of Warhammer 40k is dripping with intrigue, and I have a strong feeling Boltgun will satisfy fans with its wide variety of different areas and characters. And what boomer shooter would be complete without different difficulty levels? It looks like Boltgun will have 4 options for players to choose from, so whether you're a beginner or a seasoned veteran, Boltgun will adjust things to make your gaming experience suitably challenging. As a bonus, there's also a taunt button that you can press to yell things like, "For the Emperor," at your enemies. I'm not really sure if this will make any of them turn tail and run, but if you can't flex on the bad guys, then that's just a missed opportunity. Boltgun is divided up into different levels, each of which should take an average of 10 to 15 minutes to complete. From what I've read, there should be at least 24 levels, meaning each of the game's 3 chapters should consist of about 8 levels each. From the few reviews I've glanced over and what playtesters have said, Boltgun is a fluid, satisfying gaming experience that, while not particularly groundbreaking, is affectionately crafted and polished and should be something that fans of the 40k franchise and classic FPS games should absolutely love. Warhammer 40k Boltgun is out on May 23, 2023 and will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch and PC. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Are you going to be picking up Warhammer 40k Boltgun? And if so, which enemies are you most looking forward to crushing into pulp? Let me know in the comments. Please drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more awesome gaming, VR and tech content. From me and the team here at Metasquad, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Later!